This video describes the use of smart objects within Photoshop. At the moment we've got a conventional Photoshop layer, so this is made up of pixels. So if we look at the icon in the layers palette, we can see our layer, which is called boots, and there's a preview of the contents. It's small, but there's a preview of what we have there. In this particular document we want to create a front page for a magazine, so we want to add a banner. So this banner is going to be in an Illustrator format. So when we import this, this is going to be as a smart object. So they behave in a slightly different way to conventional Photoshop layers. So I'm just going to explain that. So we're going to import our heading. So if I go File, Place, and we can find an Illustrator file, and we can place that. If I go OK, so I can drag this to the top of the page. The selection isn't complete while it's got this cross over the image. To complete the selection and move on to another function, I need to double click it. Okay, so once I've done that, the cross disappears and we see that we've got a new layer. Okay, if we take a closer look at these layers, you can see that there's a difference in the icons. So for green fingers, the title of the Illustrator image that we've imported, you can see that there's a page with a corner turned down. Okay, this is telling us that it's a smart object. So to tell you a bit about the differences in the way it behaves, if I go to the boots layer and I go to the rectangular marquee tool, second tool down, and I select an area, press backspace or delete, you can see that I can remove part of the image. If I go to the green fingers layer, the banner, and try the same thing, then we get this message: could not complete your request because the smart object is not directly editable. Okay, what this means is that we've placed a copy of the banner, our Illustrator file, within this Photoshop document, but it's referencing the original file. So if we want to edit it, we need to open up the original document in Illustrator. So the way that we can do this is that if we hold the Control key so that we get a little menu symbol and select the layer, we can go Edit Contents. So if I select Edit Contents and let go, there we go. There we get a dialog box. After editing the contents, choose File, Save to commit the changes. Those changes will be reflected upon returning to Untitled 1. That's because I haven't saved the document yet. So we're going to go OK, OK, and here we go. This is our document. So in this case, I might like to change the colour. So I'm going to make the banner a dark green, and I might actually change the kerning as well, actually. So for instance, if I put the type tool in between the F and the I think I'll just make a bit more space there, so that's so we can see the dot of the I better. One reason to reference files between Photoshop and Illustrator is that you have more editability of text within Illustrator. Okay, so once we've finished these amendments, we can save them, and then we can close the document. So when we return to Photoshop, you can see that those changes have been updated as our new Illustrator file. Okay. Right, so again, if we try to edit this, we can't do it. So if I click and drag a box, we get that same message. So if we want to edit it, we need to hold Control and go Edit Contents. As an alternative, if we now want this banner to be an ordinary Photoshop layer, what we can do is that we can select Rasterize Layer. So if I click Rasterize Layer, you'll see that the page with the corner turned down has disappeared. Okay, so when we rasterize a layer, what we're doing is we're converting it to pixels. So this is now an ordinary Photoshop layer. So if I go to the rectangular marquee tool and select an area, you can see that I can delete part of that layer. Okay, so after a bit of practice using Photoshop and Illustrator, you'll decide when it's best to rasterize a layer or reference it.